Jack.
There you go. Big Night Ranger shirt. I like that.
Thanks, man.
Very nice. How
I
you doing?
like it too. All right. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Very good. Glad to be here.
Ah, man. Thanks so much for being here. You look great, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just got back from Sturgis. We played Sturgis Monday night with Stone Temple Pilots. So it was a great show. And now I got home for a few days, and I think I have 10 days off. I'm pretty excited about that.
I bet you are. Hey, it's good to be out of your house, though, huh?
You know what, man? I don't know who's more excited, the audiences or the band members on playing live again. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I tell you, it's nothing like we're like, we're free, break out. Like our song on ATBPO, break out.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, fans are psyched. I know. I post whenever I'm talking to anybody, and I posted that I'm talking to you, and all the Styx fans, of course, are all over it, and they're so excited to see you because you're such a great live band too. You're really in your element in that setting, and it's so great to see all those dates being posted. It feels like you're getting a sense of normalcy back.
Yeah. It was difficult, when they music is the thing that brings everyone together. You know what I mean? Music is the common bond. It's something that hits everybody's heart and soul. And I mean, you might have, you might be black, white, whatever, and you might have the politics or this or that or the other, but the whole thing that brings us all together is music, man. Everybody can just sit and sing along to songs that they grew up to listening to or enjoy, new songs, whatever, and they all just sing together and rock out and all that kind of stuff. I'm telling you, that's what screwed us up the most than anything else, that locking down and not having live music, and people bringing people together again, because we're social people, and that's what we need.
Yep. And it's been like that for since the beginning of time. I think we all come together over rhythms and sound, for sure.
Amen.
Absolutely. Hey, let me introduce you, my friend. I have Mr. Jack Blades here. Jack has been the bassist and primary singer for Night Ranger for almost 40 years. Is that even possible?
I know.
They've sold more than 17 million albums worldwide. Over the years, Jack has been a member of other projects, of course, Shaw Blades, Damn Yankees, and of course, newer like Revolution Saints, which is just incredible. Night Ranger has just released their 12th studio album, ATBPO, and that stands for And the Band Played On. It was released on August 6th on Frontiers Records. And Jack, thanks so much.
Oh yeah. Well, it's through all this pandemic and everything like that, we thought that'd be a perfect name. I mean, Brad Gillis, our guitarist, Brad had tore his rotator cuff, so he had to have shoulder surgery. So he was out for like 3 months, and other things happened, and this happened, and that happened. And then, of course, what the world's gone through for the last year and a half and everything like that. So, we thought that was a appropriate name, called, through it all, and the band played on. And then Kelly, Kelly Keggy, our singer drummer, had a great idea of, like, he always loved the Van Halen OU812, that title. Right. And so we thought, he said, instead of "and the band played on," why don't we just do the initials, like ATBPO, ATBPO for "and the band played on." And we're like, that's great, let's do it. And so, we're just having fun.
It's very cool. Fun. Yeah, and Night Ranger is one of the most fun bands that's ever existed, I think. It's just a great fun band for everybody, for sure. Now this record, of course, recorded differently than any other Night Ranger record, probably. You're all in your own space. Is that how would the record be different if it wasn't the pandemic, do you think? And you did it like a regular Night Ranger record.
That's actually a really interesting question. I mean, we had to do it all remotely. Nobody could get together. I mean, Carrie and I are the only guys that got together during the whole recording of the album. He came up to my place for about 3 days, and we came up with "Coming for You," which is the first track on the record, and we came up with "Monkey," and then we did a lot of work and on "Hard to Make It Easy" and "Tomorrow," and So we were the only two guys that actually got together in the room. So we really had to focus on this band having a great groove. We really wanted to make sure, because all our records, every time we've ever done a record, especially in the last 10 years, we've all gotten in the room together and we've jammed on songs, come up with ideas. And immediately after we got the song kind of down and everything like that, we go right into the recording studio and we'd cut it like right on the spot, because we always recorded right there and everything like that in my studio in Northern California. And so it was always fresh. We'd always keep it fresh. So with this thing being all remotely and everything like that, we really, really, really drilled in and focused on the fact that it's got to sound like we're all together. It's got to have a groove. Each song's got to have a groove. And so in that respect, I think that we really, really made sure each song, really, really just sort of like, drilled down into it. And I think we accomplished our goal with this record.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It's I was going to say it's one of the heavier, I guess maybe heavy is the wrong word, is a better word, but it's a heavier Night Ranger record in that way. It's all got groove. It moves. It really moves. Really, really great listen. Take me through that writing process. You've got trading guitar solos like, Roberts and Gorham kind of thing going on in this record a lot. Are those written in? Were those written in and then you recorded them? Was it a little more sterile like that, where, you can't be in the same room jamming together? So, was everything kind of written? How did the writing process for this go?
Well, for this album, like take for instance the song "Breakout." Brad had this 6-7 minute opus, this long thing of the music. He had the music and he sent it to Kelly and myself, and I grabbed it and I said, it's really great. It's got some great stuff. So we got to make it sort of like, make it into like a song form, so it really can be relatable, like a Night Ranger song form. And so what we did was, I kind of like, we moved things around and used the best of this and that and the other and created this thing. And then the lick, is it's like this big heavy lick. And I'm thinking, you can't sing you can't sing a lot of words like, I'm gonna take you back. It's like, there'd be too much stuff going on. So right. One day I just walked in and I turned it on and I listened to it, and I just sounded like, and I just started singing "Break Out" and down to the, because I was thinking about like, we're getting back on the road. He's like, "Come on, little sister, break out," and I just started singing like that. And I said, well, that's good. And I just sit down and recorded the chorus, and then I recorded the verses and kind of along the same lines and sent it to Brad, and Brad goes, "Great, man, right on, let's go for it." So the writing process was kind of like a lot along those lines. Like, I'd send a song to somebody, I'd send a song to the guys, like, I'd come up with the ideas for about 7 or 8 of the songs that are on the record, and send them around to the guys, and Kerry put on a bunch of great guitar parts, and then Brad would put on guitar parts, and then they'd add parts in, and then we'd change some things and say, this doesn't work, but how about this? We'll change this and make this a little bit like this. And so it was a real good joint, group effort on everything. And then Eric would play the keyboards, and some of these tracks had like 150 tracks on it, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we had to like filter through 100, Kerry had put on 15 tracks, and then Eric had put on 10 or 15 keyboard tracks, and Brad had put on a bunch of tracks, and then this guy hadn't heard, Brad hadn't heard what Kerry did, and then it came out, right. And Eric hadn't heard what this and that, and I had to filter through all this stuff, our engineer and myself, and so it was like trying to get through it, and then I get calls like, "Hey, what happened to my part?" The part was like great. It's like, it didn't fit with this. I said, well, I didn't know what he was playing. I didn't even hear what he did. Well, it's there now. It's like, okay, well, that, and then he put another part on to fit with that part. And so it was a crazy, crazy way to pull it all together. But in the end, we all finished it, and we all sat back and went, okay, this sounds great. Let's go with it. And that's how we did it. And that's how it was all, how it was all done.
Man, that just sounds really different from the norm,
way different.
It's cool that it all worked out and everybody likes it.
Oh man, I love it. And we all love it. I mean, I was flying to Sturgis. We played in Denver. We had a show in Denver, and then I flew to Sturgis, and I hadn't listened to the song. I hadn't listened to the album in like 2 months. I just wanted to get away from, because when you listen to it over and over and over, you're not listening just to like a 5-minute song and, oh, that's really nice or anything like that.
Right.
You're listening to like
That's
every
real
little
intense.
minutia, man. You're drilling in so deep. I mean, you're listening to
Right.
that little guitar part and this little bass thing and this keyboard part. Does this fit in? And the melodies and like the harmonies need to be adjusted. No, we got to bring up the middle section and then back off the high part. No, the low one needs to come up and this and that. It's just like, at the end, you're like, I hate it. I hate this record. I hate it. So I hadn't listened to it. For a couple of months, and I listened to it on the plane ride to Sturgis, top to bottom. So, first song, Coming for You to Tomorrow, the end of Tomorrow. And I listened to it, and I'm like, dude, this is great. I love this record. And I told Brad and Carrie when I landed, I told Brad, you played some great stuff on this record. I mean, that was the first time I was able to sit back and not look at it in a clinical sense,
Right.
and just look back as a musical sense as a fan and just listen to the music. And I said, dude, you play some freaking awesome stuff on this record. I'm a big fan, and we were laughing about it and everything like that. So that's kind of how it all worked out.
That's great. Yeah, the musician doesn't always get to hear it like a fan hears it. That is definitely the truth. Yeah.
I mean, I read an article once. Sting, I think it was the best quote I've ever read from a musician to a musician. And Sting was talking about, I don't know, one of his records or something like that. And he said, you never finish a mix. You only abandon a mix. You know what I mean? It's like, you just keep going and going and going and bring this up, do that, you've got, at one point, you just got to go, I'm done. I'm walking away. You got to do that. You know what I mean? So I thought that was the greatest quote. So there was a couple times we had to do that. We was like, I'm walking away from this thing. I'm fine. That's it. So that's kind of what went on.
That's cool. Is there a song on here that has a little extra meaning to you? Something that sits a little closer to your heart?
That's a good question. I think maybe Can't Afford a Hero, I don't know, it's like the fourth song or fifth song on the record. I can't remember. But I think that, I was just sitting around and kind of jamming, and just strumming my acoustic guitar. I was just like, I don't know if this is in tune. Forgive me if it's not. Okay. I mean,
absolutely.
Oh, there you go. I was just like, I was just playing around. I was just like, when you're lost and lonely, and the words just came, the whole thing just came to me like that. And then I sang, and then, when it came to, when you can't afford a hero, it just came to me,
wow.
I just thought I just started singing it. That song was like start to finish, finished in like 30 minutes,
Wow.
And I said, I kind of like this. I better. I went in and played it for my wife we have two houses. I went into another house where she was and played it for her and she started crying and I went, wow. This is a good one.
You got something there.
I did it. I hit it. I hit the spot on that one. You know what I mean?
It's
that,
gorgeous.
that song maybe has the most, when you can't afford a hero, you can try your luck with me, because so many people, they keep searching for something when really the answer might be, like right in front of your face. And it's like, you need to look around, like, it's, you keep looking around for the other answer. You're like this and like this. Is it there? Is it there? It's there. No, it's right here in front of your face. When you can't afford a hero, try your luck with me. That's kind of, I thought that was pretty good, And so anyway, that song probably has the best, that and Dance. I love Dance because dance is like, through all this pandemic and everything like this, like, I just want to dance, man. I want to hang out and dance with you. I want to spend the night. People just want to just dance again. They want to jump up and down and just rock and roll and that kind of thing. So Dance is also one of my favorites on the record.
That's cool. What is the best song you've ever written? What is there, that song, Can't Afford a Hero is really special. Even to the fan, it's very personal for you. Is there a song that, is, I really hit it like that, where it's just, that's the best thing I've ever done?
I I think that one of my favorite songs. That's a tough one, man.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
real tough
choosing
one.
your kids. I know.
I think that When You Close Your Eyes has always been, a real meaningful song to me. And of course, the song Goodbye, I wrote that about my brother who died of a drug overdose, and I was never able to say goodbye to him. And so that has a lot of meaning, and that's helped a lot of people out through a lot of hard times. The song Goodbye.
And
And
that's special.
I've played it at a lot of of places where people needed the help, and like at funerals and things like that. And and High Enough, the Damn Yankee song when Tommy and I came up with
Yep.
most of everything with High Enough. I mean, that's a tough one, man. I think I can't just say one. I gotta say there's maybe about three, but then there's like Don't Tell Me You Love Me and Rocking Them. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Don't ask me that. Don't ask me that. That's not fair.
Okay, I got a good one though. This is a good one. I work with 20 somethings, a lot of them. I want to turn them on to Night Ranger, right? So you got a new record out. I want them to hear it. I'm ready to play it for them, but then I think, is this the first Night Ranger they should hear? So what's the first thing I play for them?
God, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Sister Christian is such in the collective consciousness of of everything and stuff like that. But I think that, I don't know. I Don't Tell Me You Love Me. I mean, there's so many. That's a tough one. I mean, off the new album, I don't know. It's like I can just hand them the album and it's like, here, Coming for You,
Yep.
Break Out, and Monkey, and just real rock and tracks and stuff like that. If they want to get deep, they can do Can't Afford a Hero or something like Hardest Road. And
Right.
I don't know, man. That's going to be your call. You're going to have to figure that out. You're going to have to judge each one on their own merits and look at them and go, I think you would like this, and I think maybe you'd like this one, and I think maybe you would like this one. Something like that. I think
Right.
that's going to be on you, bro.
Right. All right. All right. That's fair enough. Fair
Let me
enough.
put this guitar back. There you go.
Now I got to tell you, probably I love all the Night Ranger records. Anything with the Night Ranger logo is a gem. Midnight Madness, of course. The one that really broke big. It has a special place. I was in that age where I was really, really just deep into that record. It really holds a special place in my heart. I think it's one of the best, not only Night Ranger records, but the best records I've ever heard. But there's a song I skip over on that record, and it's Your Stairway to Heaven. Sister Christian, it's maybe the best song you guys have ever done, in all fairness, but I don't, I usually skip it. And that's one of those things where I don't know if overplayed is the right word, but has there ever been a
Probably.
time? Yeah, possibly. Has there ever been a time where you're writing set lists for the night and you say, can we just not play this one tonight? Do you still love that song?
Yeah. There's never an occasion where we would not play that song.
Well, of course.
I mean, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, because look, we play that song thousands of times. From 1983 on. When you start those first piano notes, and you look out in the audience, and then you see those people starting to sing that song with you, unless you're some jaded prick, there's no way you could ever not want to just give it everything you got and play it out and sing as loud as you can, motoring in a microphone, and watch the audience sing just motoring, and everybody's swaying and everybody just digging it and everything like that.
Powerful.
So there's just no, like Monday night, we're at Sturgis. I'm watching a bunch of bikers with tears just streaming down their eyes.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's awesome.
It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's really, it brings back a lot of good memories for people. It just has a vibe, man. And there's no way that that we could ever not dig playing it when you see that reaction,
Yeah.
that kind of a thing. So it fills our souls. That basically, the audience is filling our souls just as much as we are to them by playing the song. I mean, I'm telling you, it's really that kind of thing, man. Our heart is your heart and your heart is our heart. And that's really the way Night Ranger is.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, in the live setting, it's a powerful, powerful thing. And I've seen you probably a dozen times, and it's always powerful, no matter who's in the audience, like you say. And you guys just did a rock fest with, you're opening. I mean, you're in the middle of Phil Anselmo from Pantera and Corey Taylor from Slipknot, and you guys are doing Sister Christian, and I'm sure it was the same reaction. It's this powerful thing.
It was the exact same reaction. And of course, Corey Taylor's, we met him through Eddie Trunk and on that metal show and everything like that. And he was a fan of the band, grew up, listening to the band and stuff like that. And he always, tell it, dude, Night Ranger, Don't Tell Me You Love Me rocks, dude. That's like kicks ass. So when we were there and, we were going back and forth with him and stuff like that and text and everything. And then we got to the show and I'm like, hey, we're here, we're all hanging out and everything like that. And I said, dude, you want to come up and sing? He goes, Don't Tell Me You Love Me. It's just great. So I said, you sing the second verse. He goes, you want me to come up? I said, come up and sing the second verse. You got to do it, man. You got to do it. I said, you need the words? Let me write down the words for you. He goes, I don't need the frickin' words. Are you kidding? I know the words by heart. I got this. I got it. I don't need anything. So they were sitting off the side of the stage, and Corey's there. And Corey, by the way, is an incredible musician.
Yeah.
He's just, what an artist, man.
Oh, yeah.
What an artist, what a songwriter. I mean, everything. He's just an amazing artist. And so he's watching the side of the stage with, his bandmates, which are great too. They're great guys too. And, so we're watching, they're watching on the side of the stage and up comes Don't Tell Me You Love Me. And I'm there with the mic and I, end up singing the first verse and we sing the chorus and I'm standing, I'm at the mic finishing up the chorus and I look over and I'm like, hey, you want to come on? And he's like, yeah, you sure? And I'm just like, I grab my mic, walk right over and I'm like, come on. He walks right out, grabs the mic, walks right out on the stage, and goes, I love the way you use me. Oh yeah. And it was like, it was fun.
Pretty cool.
All the place came undone and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was rocking it, man. It was a great day. It was a wonderful day. And yeah, I mean, Night Ranger is like, you don't think, I think we're going on with like, Phil Anselmo from Pantera and Corey Taylor, Slipknot and Limp Bizkit was the headliner. And it's like, look, I said, guys, nobody's going to out heavy any of these bands. Okay. We're not going to try it. So let's not even try to out heavy them. Here's what we do. We go out and we go out and we're Night Ranger. Let's go do Night Ranger. And we went out and the freaking people loved it.
Absolutely.
It was perfect. It was just, it was wonderful. And that was the way it should have been. And Corey coming out was just brilliant.
Yeah, that's just so cool. That's cool. You're singing, playing bass. You don't do that in Rev Saints. You didn't do that in this record. Do you miss Vanilla Gorilla?
Rubicon, that was a funk rock, like a 7-piece horn band, a funk rock band.
Yeah,
I mean,
bass line and That's the Way Things Are and Vanilla Gorilla, it's tremendous. It's a totally different thing.
It's all slap style. Yeah.
Do you miss that at all?
When I moved up to the Bay Area in 1975 and Jerry Martini, the sax player for Sly and the Family Stone, was forming a band called Rubicon. He said, and he heard about me down in Southern California through Pat Rizzo, who was the other sax player for Sly and the Family Stone, who lived down in Palm Springs. And so I flew up and I moved up to San Francisco. And then the next thing you know, Jerry's got me over at Sly's house and like auditioning. And the next thing you know, I'm in the studio at Sausalito Record Plant with Sly. And then the next thing, Jerry puts the band together, Rubicon. And yeah, it was all, funky slap style. I was more like playing like Larry Graham or the Brothers Johnson or, one of those bands and, and stuff like that. And it was wonderful. I mean, that's where I have so many musical different, like I love it all, and so Rubicon was that funky rock thing. I mean, we did the Cal Jam 2 and you can see the video of it. People see the video of Rubicon at Cal Jam 2. they don't even believe it's me. You know, it's like, that's you? Wait a minute, how could that be? But so anyway, that's what I was doing there. And then when Rubicon broke up in 1979, you know, we formed a kind of a short-lived band called Stereo with Brad and Kelly and myself, and a little club band, and we were playing around the Bay Area. But my roommate was Alan Fitzgerald Fitz, and he played keyboards with Sammy Hagar and bass for Montrose. And he said, why don't we form a rock band? And I'm like, yeah, okay. He said, you bring your three guys, Kelly, Brad, and you. And I know a guy in Sacramento, a young guy named Jeff Watson. And so let's form this band, which was 1980. And so we formed the band, and I was playing with my thumb and everything. So I just decided to, like, you know, stick a thumb pick. You know, I'll just, like, I'm so used to playing with my thumb, so I'll just play with a thumb pick. So I started playing with a thumb pick, and that's how I play now. That's what I've been doing for the last 45 years. And so that's what it is. And that's how I developed, you know, the whole thing of, you know, fronting Night Ranger and everything like that. And playing, I kind of play my bass and Night Ranger more like it's a rhythm guitar anyway. So, yeah, you know, that's kind of what it is.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'm not sure I can even do any of that slap style anymore. I'll have to grab my jazz bass, and, like, now after we finish this, I'm gonna have to sit down and see if I can play Vanilla Gorilla.
Yeah.
One of those songs, or That's the Way Things Are, off the Rubicon record.
Yeah, it's massive.
You're good, you're digging it out. You're digging it out.
It's massive. Those are great songs. I love them to death. What does the Jack Blades today tell that kid that was playing Cal Jam 2? You know, if you could tell that kid something, you know, a piece of advice, what'd you tell him? Do what you do, I would say.
I would say follow where your world leads you. I said just follow where the world takes you. You know what I mean? Because I mean, there we were in Rubicon, we played Cal Jam 2, we did all these kind of things. I was just, you know, slap style band. You know, that band broke up. You know, I thought, okay, that's the end of it. Is that the end of it? Is that it? Is that it? But the whole reason, I mean, Rubicon broke up, and we formed Night Ranger, and we became Night Ranger, and that became, here we are 40 years later with Night Ranger. So, I mean, sometimes, you know, and when the worst thing happened, and that was, to me, when Rubicon broke up, it was the worst thing on the planet that could have happened. It was like, that was the worst. It's over. Everything's dead. It's like, but sometimes when the worst thing happens, it opens the door for the best thing, you know, the next thing. Yeah. So I would say to any new young guy coming up, man, follow it wherever it goes, and keep persistent. You know, persistence pays off. Keep rocking it. Keep doing what you believe. Believe in yourself. First of all, believe in yourself, and then just keep doing what you're doing and keep it going, because you don't know if this breaks off, this door shuts in your face, but then this one flaps wide open, and that might become your future of everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think those are the best words of advice that I could tell any young musician or anybody, period, in life, you know, coming up in life, you know.
Yeah, roll with it. Yeah, you guys, I mean, you've seemed to have made all the right decisions and done so well. You know, and I think of this record, the new record, and the band played on, and you know, I think about, you know, you guys went on hiatus when you did Damn Yankees. Kelly and Brad did a Night Ranger record, you know, feeding off the Mojo. You guys were kind of doing your own thing. Night Ranger played on, you know, much like during a global pandemic. Now I know you guys have done Damn Yankees stuff live. Has it ever come up to do a song off the Feeding Off the Mojo album? You know, has that ever been a consideration?
No, because it's really not, you know, I mean, it wasn't something that I was involved in, you know what I mean? I mean, it wasn't something that I was, like, you know, intrinsically involved in. And I mean, the Damn Yankees thing, the thing, like, I wrote those songs and sang them, you know, I mean, I co-wrote them with Ted and Tommy, of course. Right. And, you know, and I sing them and stuff like that. And it's just, it's a part of me, and it's a part of, I think, what developed into what Night Ranger is today. You know what I mean? Because I think right now Night Ranger is freaking rocking on all 8 cylinders. And it's all those experiences that we all picked up from everything that we did. You know what I mean? So in that respect, I you know, it's like, that's why we do those songs, and there were such #1 records and #1 big huge hits that everybody knows and everybody loves, and we want to play stuff that people just, know and love. If we're going to do a song off of that's not ours, or that's not off of a Night Ranger record, we want to do it that has like, make sure it was like a #1 record or a big song or something like that, and everything like that. So I don't know. That's kind of why that's never even been, we've never even thought about that.
Okay. Yeah. I've always wondered that, have you listened to that, and what your thoughts are on that whole thing. So that's interesting. I've always wondered what you would sound like on those songs.
But they're not something right. It'd be hard to do it. It'd be like something that I didn't even have anything to do with.
It's a cover for you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And at that time, I mean, I was in the damn Yankees. We were touring all over the world, and and selling tons of records and doing all that kind of stuff. And those guys, and Brad and Kelly were doing their thing, kind of continuing all that kind of stuff. And it was nice when the damn Yankees took a hiatus, and we took that break, and all of a sudden some phone calls started going around, and we decided we got an offer to play a bunch of, a show in Japan. So we said, sure, let's do it. Why not? I'll do it. And so, they put one show on sale and it's sold out, put second show on sale, sold out, put third show on sale, sold out, put the fourth show on sale, sold out. And we're like, oh, this could be interesting. So that was kind of the reboot of Night Ranger in '96. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then since 2010, I mean, since the record Somewhere in California, that's the sort of like the reboot of the reboot of where we are. We feel like that was the awakening of Night Ranger again in 2010. So we've had like the original awakening, in 80 when we formed the band, in 82 when the first record came out, and then in 96 when we got back together again, and then 2010 we feel like that was another awakening of Night Ranger. So we're just excited that after all these years, it's going to be 40 years, like you said, next year, and it's like, here we are. We're not going anywhere, man.
Hell yeah, man.
We'll continue with Night Ranger.
And the band played on
and the band played on. You got that right.
The story of Night Ranger, for sure. Not just the one record. Now you've played bass for Ringo Starr. You've done all of these things in your life and all these great projects. And we have a mutual friend in Keith Marks. I
love Keith.
Yes, and he loves you like family.
Great guy. He's one of us.
He's his judge of character I trust with my life. He's just one of those great people. And so, but I contacted him and I said, you got a good Jack story for me? Because I'm gonna be talking to Jack. And he said, well, the first thing that comes to mind is when you dehydrated and the tour bus turned into a MASH unit. Do you remember?
Oh. Yeah. That was he was the tour manager with us then, and it was
right.
That's right. That turned in basically, it's like, get him on the freaking IVs, get everything. It was like I wasn't drinking enough water, and it was the middle of the summer, and we were playing these shows outdoors, and it was like, you know what I mean? It's like, what's happening? My mind is going, I'm spinning, all that kind of stuff. Thank God Keith was like, freaking Hawkeye from MASH. I mean, he was on it. So we got some stories. There's some stories. Keith is a great guy.
Yeah. What about for you? Most memorable moment out of all these things that you've done? Is there something that just was the greatest thing that ever happened?
Well, I think one of the greatest, as for a musician, right? As a musician, I think one of the greatest things, because I grew up listening to the Beatles and everything like that. And then, as you said, I played with Ringo. We did VH1 Storytellers, made that record. And then we did Letterman, Leno, all the TV shows and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And we were rehearsing in London, and it was myself and Joe Walsh was the guitarist. And Simon Kirke played drums with us, and we had some other guys, Gary Burr, the #1 Nashville Hall of Fame songwriter, Mark Hudson. Yeah, we were all together doing, playing this for Ringo. So we're in there jamming, and we're playing, and I'm sitting there, we're playing, and we're just, Ringo hadn't showed up yet, so we're just fooling around on stage and stuff. And so we start playing Ticket to Ride, I'm like, and I start singing it, and it's just Joe Walsh over there, and I'm standing here playing the bass, I think I'm gonna be sad, I think it's today, yeah. And Ringo walks in the room, way back in the big rehearsal hall, and he kind of walks in, Ringo with his hands behind his back, and it's like this. He was with Barbara, his wife, was with him, and he's just, walking in, looking around like this, looking around like that. And all of a sudden he hears what we're playing, and he goes, and so he just kind of runs up like this, like just kind of runs, runs really quick, runs up, gets on the drums, and starts going, and I'm singing there, and I'm playing, and I'm looking, and I'm singing this song, she's got a ticket to, I'm looking over my right shoulder, and that's frickin' Ringo Starr doing, she's got it. And I think at that moment, I got goosebumps just thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, at that moment, I thought I had died and gone to heaven. That was it. I'm done. I'm done as a musician. I'm finished. I've reached the pinnacle. I have climbed the mountain. I have reached the top of the mountain. That's it. Yep. I'm done.
You were Ringo's McCartney.
That was the most amazing experience of my life. And I think that was one of the greatest moments of for me as a musician, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be the greatest moment for just about any musician, I would say, to be Ringo's McCartney. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Have you ever thought about writing all this stuff down? Yeah, any thoughts of a book?
Yeah, I ought to do that sometime, huh?
Yeah.
Next time I'll do that I'll do that the next pandemic, right?
There you go. Yeah, well, you got a little bit of time.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it would be great. I got this stack of rock autobiographies, and then you've done so much. I'd love to hear.
There's a lot of stuff there's a lot of stuff that could go in the book. A lot of great stuff. I think people have a fun time reading about it and everything like that.
Your career and Night Ranger in general, it's always positive. Even the hiatus and stuff, there was never really a negativity to it. It's always a good feeling. I think a Night Ranger, I think good feelings always. And that's pretty.
Yeah, that's me. I had my mom was the most wonderfully positive person right to the day she died at 97. Yeah, 97. So I mean, I just tell you. I think I got that. I was very lucky. I got that from her. So I'm a positive guy. I'm a positive guy, and I'm going to keep being that way. And I'm going to keep throwing down the rock, man. I'm going to keep throwing down the rock for everyone.
Appreciate it. We appreciate it.
You got it.
And I got a million people asking me about Shaw Blades. And I know Tommy's the busiest guy in the business. Probably he's doing the Styx thing. He's touring relentlessly. Is there any chance of that ever happening?
I think so. I mean, I think that Tommy, we played a show in Ohio a couple of weeks ago together, Styx and Night Ranger, and Tommy came out and on the stage and we did High Enough, and the fans just loved it, and we had such a fun time with Shaw Blades. We went on tour and just acoustically, and man, we had a ball on the Shaw Blades Influence records and playing all those, and then playing our other things and playing Damn Yankee songs and playing solo stuff and playing some Styx stuff, some Night Ranger. I mean, just acoustically, a couple acoustic guitars and telling stories and telling lies and bagging on each other. It's really fun. And yeah, I hope we do that again because I think it's something very, very special to the fans.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely is. Yeah. And it's therapeutic for everybody, I think, to see that kind of, it's a loving relationship. It's a brotherhood. And then it comes through in the guitars and the voices for sure.
Amen. Amen to that.
What's the top of your bucket list? You've done all this stuff. Is there one thing that you've always wanted to do?
Nah, top of my bucket list is just to keep playing and keep being on the stage and keep just entertaining and just keep being out there, man. I don't have some, gosh, I wish I could go see the pyramids or something like that. I mean, it's like, I'm one of these days I want to go to, I just want to keep playing, I just want to keep throwing down the rock, man. Until somebody says I can't do it anymore. That's what I'm going to be doing.
There you go. I love to hear that, because then I know you're content, you're doing well, you're happy with your life. And that as a fan, we want nothing more than it's like you don't want mom and dad to fight. It's you guys are mom and dad. You're
There
happy,
you
and
go.
it's great to hear. It's great to hear, my friend.
There you go.
Jack, I want to be respectful of your time. I so appreciate you hanging out
My
with me.
pleasure.
It's been a
My
blast,
pleasure.
man.
Yeah, I'm excited about people hearing the ATBPO. I mean, it just came out last Friday. And it's flying. So
it's
that's
awesome.
really good. I think people are really digging it, and I'm very excited about that. And I want more people to hear the ATBPO record and check it out. And I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, and I think you're going to dig it.
Totally. And there's totally cool ways to get this record too. On the website nightranger.com, you have a yellow vinyl, an exclusive edition yellow vinyl. There's other vinyl available too in different colors. The cover is just awesome, with the road case and everything.
That's one of our road cases, man. That's one of the old road cases. I love it. We're like, put that on the cover. That's basically awesome. All we do is tour anyway. Put it on the cover. There you go.
It is. And like I say, the title is just, it sums up the history of the band, and the record being made in the pandemic. It's a great record. It sums up what Night Ranger is all about in sound and vision. So it's a special record. And nightranger.com, and available wherever music's sold. ATBPO, man.
Thanks, man. And the band, and trust me, the band will play on. Thanks a million, man.
Thank you. Take care, Jack. Thanks so much for your time.
God bless.
All right, you too.